All right. Well, I guess it's going.
Let's
Um,
ready. Let's go. Discuss. I love freaking Star Wars. Big news today.
yes. All right. So three, two, one. Hey, everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the inaugural episode of Sci-Fi Annotated, the podcast. So I am joined by Connor, who is new to HN. For everyone that has no idea who Connor is, and I'm introducing him like I'm assuming you guys already know who he is. He's the head of marketing here at HN. So, any cool things on the marketing front, on the engagement front, thank him. Uh, and yeah, but also he's a huge sci-fi fan, especially Star Wars. So it makes him the perfect person to have with me today on this podcast. Now, what we're talking about today, just to list it out for those who are either listening to the full audio on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, versus segments on YouTube. We're going to talk the Star Wars updates with Mando 2 in the High Republic, then this John Boyega interview that came out, and then we're going to finish off the episode with some Dune talk and this Game of Thrones news. Well, not Game of Thrones news, but the Game of Thrones showrunners are developing a new series. So we're going to talk about that. But yeah, I guess before we get into the first topic, though, Connor, you want to, in your own words, introduce yourself, say some stuff?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Connor. So think of me as the marketing guy. More the big fan of Star Wars, the big beard, everything going on. Real excited. Big news today with the new Star Wars announcement. Mandalorian season 2, huge. Hope everyone's pumped. That's pretty much my intro right there. Right back to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. When I was talking to Connor, actually, for those who are listening to this, right? When I was talking to Connor about HN stuff, doing things with HN, the sign was right there because I think you had like a Star Wars sticker on your laptop. I think it was your laptop. And I mean, people don't just have that, you got to be a fan of Star Wars to have that. But you were asking me about like Mandalorian and Clone Wars and stuff. So I was like, I already know you were a fan since you asked me before I ever asked you. But getting into our first topic here with the Mandalorian stuff or updates and also with the High Republic updates. So Mando 2, they announced it. So Grace Randolph, who some people know, some people don't know, she was talking about stuff she didn't really know about, and saying basically that the Mandalorian season 2 was in danger, and Disney was freaking out about certain aspects of it with the trailer, and just other aspects, other facets of Mando 2. And I guess someone at Disney got wind of it and was like, nothing's wrong. So they announced that Mandalorian 2 will start new episodes streaming on Disney Plus October 30th. Really exciting. They released an updated version of their kind of Mandalorian wallpaper artwork thing, which has Mando in where the A would be in Mandalorian. But instead of it just being him alone this time, it's him plus Baby Yoda. So it's pretty great. I'm really excited for this season. I think the first show was a huge success just because it really showed the fan power of Star Wars in terms of, you don't have to make a Luke Skywalker show, a Darth Vader show, anything regarding those core characters. You don't have to make a show based on them, Star Wars related, to be successful. Because Mando is none of those things outside of maybe invoking, vibes of Boba, Jango Fett, So I'm definitely really excited for that. And speaking of that, correct me if I'm wrong, Connor, isn't Boba Fett's confirmed, right, for this season?
This is the way. So we'll see how that what happens with it. I'm fingers crossed with Boba Fett. I think he's in on it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say yes. I think he is confirmed.
I
But
think he is. I
I
think.
know there's the one scene, season 1. Spoiler alert. Hopefully everyone's already seen season 1 of Mandalorian. But
Yeah.
the one scene where he's crossing the desert, you could hear him walking over towards the very end of the episode. I can't remember what chapter it is, but you'd hear the steps. And initially, I had my fingers crossed. I thought it was Cad Bane. That's what I was really hoping for, if you remember the Clone Wars series.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see what happens. It could be Boba Fett as well. We never really know. And maybe in the season 2, we'll see what happens right there. But Boba Fett should be confirmed, though.
Yeah, actually, like literally as you're talking, I scrolled down this released that talks about the casting on the show. And so I totally forgot about this, but it's relevant, so I guess I'll bring it up again. Rosario Dawson was cast for Ahsoka Tano. We're also getting Boba Fett confirmed, and I guess Captain Rex for those who are fans of Clone Wars.
Hey.
He also, I believe, was confirmed because they're played by the same actor. You know what I mean? Because they're clones, so it kind of works out that way. Yeah, so this is going to be a good show. I'm really excited for Giancarlo Esposito, um, Moff Gideon. You know, he showed up, out of nowhere at the end with a dark saber. So it's kind of like, one of those things where, especially if you're a fan of the actual, like, not just the character of Mando, but like Mandalorian culture in Star Wars and all the storylines, regarding Mandalore. Like, I mean, just in general, right? The dark saber is a big deal. So I'm really interested in seeing where they're going to go with that. I mean, will Boba Fett somehow end up with it? Will Mando take it and end up with it? I mean, it means a lot to the Mandalorians. So I don't see a Mandalorian learning the dark saber is out and about in the hands of someone like Gideon and being okay with it. But Connor, before we move on to the High Republic update stuff, do you have any final thoughts on season 2, what you would like to see, or just
I've got a lot of high hopes running for everything on it. I really want to see some tie back, even with Sabine Wren, with like her kind of handover to the darksaber, and how like that kind of transition happened, even in the fall of Mandalore, all that kind of stuff. Even earlier on, like I want to see the expanded lore kind of being touched upon a little bit in Mandalorian season 2. But we'll see what happens. I know my highest hopes. I'm not sure if it's gonna happen. Boba Fett's huge, but I'm a big Cad Bane guy with everything going on, that hat and all that. So we'll see if that he pops in there. Unlikely, but and Captain Rex will be great to see that in there. Maybe we'll see some clone commandos. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, I just know I hope this season is one of those cases where going a little bigger is better. You know what I mean? Because I mean, like, you're not only potentially bringing a character in his own right that could command attention a whole season like Boba Fett, but you're also bringing Ahsoka, who's probably one of the most, I would say, top 2-3 popular characters in the last decade in terms of being like a new character introduced to Star Wars, not just a character resurrected from the novels, so to speak. But getting into the High Republic aspect of this segment, though, everyone knows Star Wars: The High Republic. Marvel had announced it. Lucasfilm had announced it as this epic, not reboot of the series, but kind of pause from the Skywalker stuff, a pause from the things we've seen before, basically, whether it's sequel novels or in the prequels or in between, like stuff like Clone Wars, Rebels, Resistance, stuff like that. Instead, we're going a few hundred years in the past, before Episode 1, to an era of great expansion with the Star Wars universe, at least if you're, on the Republic side, called the High Republic era. Now, there's a lot of theories about what this was going to be about. Some people were theorizing that it was going to be like a younger Yoda with other ancient Jedi fighting ancient dark side forces, ancient Sith forces. However, it didn't 100% turn into that. We still don't have a lot of details, but they're starting to release more, including the first official reveal of a younger Yoda. Now, when I say younger, though, he's still like 700 years old, so he's not like super young. But here, I'll just read what I guess the writer of the Star Wars High Republic Adventures comic series said in an interview. So the writer says, "It's especially exciting to be able to introduce him in the era of the High Republic. High Republic Yoda is a journeyman out in the galaxy. While he's already a respected member of the Jedi Council at this point, we meet Yoda doing what he loves best, which is looking out for the young folks. In this case, a group of Padawans traveling around the galaxy to learn the ways of the Jedi with a hands-on approach." He also goes on to say, alongside of Troy Alders, who's an art director at Lucasfilm, and also artist Grant Griffin, that in creating a younger Yoda and what that really, I guess, embodies, they said, well, he is not much younger, 700 years versus, the 900, I guess, during Episode 1. But we thought about it, being being hundreds of years earlier, he would definitely have a different outfit, maybe even more than one outfit. His age, as far as the way his hair and face look, is maybe just slightly younger, but fairly close to his look in The Phantom Menace. So if you actually do look at the appearance of Yoda, I think it's kind of funny. People on social media were making a lot of jokes and memes because he has like this really, like he has like this like don't like f with me kind of stare. Basically, like he knows, like he has like so much confidence. It's borderline not arrogance, but like cockiness, as in like he knows, like, since there's no chosen one right now, like he's the shit. You know what I mean? Like no one's gonna mess with him. I mean, he's Yoda,
Yeah.
not Baby Yoda. He's Yoda.
Mhm.
So I think it's kind of interesting, but his face kind of looks like Mace Windu a little bit, like the eyes, the intensity in the eyes kind of has like that Mace Windu, like don't f with me, Samuel L. Jackson kind of like look. I don't know if you see what I'm talking about, but I find it like really interesting they chose that expression for for a 700-year-old Yoda. You know what I mean? Like, um, it's
Yeah, 100%. Like I mean, a century difference, 2 centuries difference. Guys looking way younger. Taking on a lot of weight and stuff of everything going on. Yoda's is going to be huge right there.
yeah. I mean, I'm happy they introduced him because I know in the canon before High Republic was ever even conceived, Yoda was always around during this time, and they said he was training Jedi. So
Mhm.
it makes sense. I mean, and also I think it's important to note for those that might have forgotten, the High Republic era is before the galaxy was really explored necessarily because the technology, like light speed engines, all this stuff wasn't fully developed yet. So like planets in the outer rim, even not all the way to the outer rim, I mean, they're still relatively unexplored. So it'll be interesting to kind of see what they do with this Yoda. I mean, I also find it interesting that he already has like a walking stick in one of the concept art pieces too. So um, I'm kind of curious like how much really has changed about this Yoda. I mean, 200 years is a lot of time still, to mature and all that stuff. But for someone like Yoda, I mean, if you're already 700 years old, like how much more change are you gonna internalize? You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Um, you know, old dogs can only learn so many tricks, as they say. But I'm definitely excited. I mean, what other characters they're gonna introduce, I have no idea. I really just hope. I hope they honestly like give us some Sith. I know Sith are supposedly not around during this time, but we all know that's not true either because one point or the other, we have Sidious, come to power, and Sidious in the shadows, and then before Sidious, we have Plagueis the Wise, and it's like just give us some, just make a new Sith, or like take a Sith that hasn't really been, I don't think, officially introduced to this new canon, like Darth Nihilus or technically Darth Bane is in the canon, so they can't retcon revamp him, but give us something, like give us some really cool stuff for a younger Yoda. I mean, like when's the next time we're gonna see stories featuring a Yoda more in his battle prime? You know what I mean? um I always felt we were cheated in episode 3, that battle with him and Sidious. Like it was cool, but you know what I mean, like
I think he's more geared toward just in the initial prequels. He's more geared as like the mentor kind of role, not the warrior kind of push there. So this, in the High Republic, we might be able to see that chance of more of the warrior kind of side of him. But it's definitely open opportunities there because it says he is teaching, but we'll definitely
yeah,
see.
yeah, it's true. I mean, I'm I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of tired today. As of recording this, I went outside for like a run, and it was super humid. And I didn't realize it, and I was stupid because I thought it was raining. So I wore a rain jacket and sweats in a super humid, like run. Um, but I'm super excited inside. I am so happy to get some like Yoda stuff because if this goes well, they might feel more comfortable exploring younger Yoda. And we might get more information on his species, which is crazy. We really don't know that much about his species. In terms of like, Star Wars, like the mythology of it,
Oh
and
yeah,
like yet he and Baby Yoda are like two of the most popular characters, in Star Wars currently. So it's kind of weird that we love them so much, yet we know so little.
There's another one. It's what is it? Yaddle. Remember that?
Yes. Yeah. We still know nothing really about them. Like why? I mean, I know there's like a thing where they're so powerful in the Force that only so many of them are allowed to be alive at a time. But how they get so powerful in the Force, in terms of canon, like not just theories. So I'm really interested in seeing what this might lead to, and then also what else they might do with the High Republic, because I'm assuming 700-year-old Yoda is theoretically the most powerful Jedi at his time. So I'm kind of curious, what does that look like? What does that mean for the galaxy? What poses a threat to a more in his combat prime Yoda? I'm kind of interested. I'm interested in seeing, where they go with it. And, I hope the High Republic is good. I wish it the best. I just want good Star Wars. That's it. Just good Star Wars. But yeah, do you have anything else though before we get into this John Boyega interview?
You really hit the nail on the head there. Just we'll kind of see what everything going on. I'm kind of really hoping for maybe just some good battles, some good lore, kind of harkening back to all that kind of stuff, especially because, you're dealing with a Mace Windu-y looking Yoda in the face. So
yeah.
A lot of opportunities there. So we'll see what happens.
No, exactly. And actually, I kind of talked a lot more than I wanted to in this segment. So before we turn it over into, the next part, what is something about High Republic that you would like them to go into and see? Yoda or
You're saying this like in the base, in the High Republic in general? I mean, I would just want to see some more just straight battles between just mercenaries and how the High Republic would deal with that, the whole aspect of there.
Yeah.
Kind of like do little spin-offs there and kind of move on from there on it. The Sith battles would be incredible too, because you mentioned before, there's really no Sith really taking his place as much, but I think that'd be a really interesting area as well. But I'm a big fan of like the mercenary side of things in Star Wars, or the smugglers and all that kind of expanded lore.
Yeah. Nice. So yeah.
I'm wired.
Anyways, the vibe went down for a bit, but let's bring it back up. So yeah, that's it for this first episode of Sci-Fi Annotated. I actually saw a comment on our We're Back video, and someone said they recommend us calling it Sci-Fi and Fantasy Annotated. That actually was a way we're going to actually fun fact. Originally, this podcast was called Sense of Wonder. Long story for that, but basically, the whole sci-fi thing, Sense of Wonder, we took the slang for that for Sense of Wonder, and that was going to be our creative name for the series, but it was kind of a little too meta. So we're not using it, but we did actually, that was considered, but the problem with Sci-Fi and Fantasy Annotated is that it's just way too long of a name. Mm-hmm. So it'd be really hard to fit that in stuff like titles sometimes and tweets and all that without it probably clipping, and we don't want that. So hopefully Sci-Fi Annotated, even though it's not politically correct and encompassing fantasy as well, hopefully it just kind of gets the idea across, so to speak. Just like Mando isn't the character's real name necessarily, but everyone says it and what we're talking about. So
my mind is blown right now. I always thought it was Mando.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it for this episode. Connor, thanks for podcasting with us today.
Always.
How do you feel? It's your first HM podcast.
Shoulders are feeling a little tight, feeling pretty good though. The real question is, how long is a parsec?
That's a good question. Honestly, part of me just wants to leave it at that. Just cut static image. That's it. End scene. Yeah. But thanks everyone that's watching this. We really appreciate it if you guys watched all the way through, whether it's on segments or also just full audio on the podcasting platforms like SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, et cetera. Comment below. Leave us some viewer questions. What are some topics you'd like to see us talk about in future episodes? And as well, any suggestions, of course, as always. Obviously we're not in a multi-million-dollar professional set. But, just any suggestions you think we could do to improve the quality of the podcast, whether it's audio quality, visual graphics work, whatever it is, just let us know and we'll do our best going forward. But thanks for, listening to us today, and we'll catch you guys later. Oh, and follow us on our social media. It will be on the graphic, but in description. But yeah, we'll catch you later.
Signing off.
Sweet.